A very good morning to our guests, dignitaries, faculty members, our non-teaching staff, and my fellow students. My name is Sushma and I am from second year SETA. We have gathered here to celebrate International Women's Day, not in a usual cliche, run-of-the-mill kind of a way, where people come to stage and say big things, but by provoking ourselves, our society, our collective social conscience shaped so heavily by patriarchy, religion, and regressive social norms. We have gathered here to question patriarchy, regressive social norms, and any external or internal force that stops us from realizing our true full potential. We have gathered here for a dialogue about women, gender, sexuality, and about smashing barriers of inequality and oppression. Times have changed. Times are changing. The world around us is changing, and we at Navrachana are changing with the world. The Women's Development Cell is fully devoted towards education and awareness about gender equality and gender neutrality. We want to ensure that no one on this campus slows down because of the gender or sexuality. We also want to ensure that opportunity can be seized by everybody, irrespective of who they are and where they come from. We are committed to making Navrachana a truly equal opportunity for faculty, students, and non-teaching staff. With this spirit, let's start with today's event. We have with us Dr. Sushma Baxi, our chief guest and keynote speaker. We have Srimati Teja Lavin, chairperson of Navrachana Education Society, and Mr. Sandhya Vodbekar Gajjar, renowned art critic and heritage activist. Srimati Teja Lavin is the chairperson of Navrachana Education Society, a pioneering educationist who has played an indispensable role in the education of thousands of children, young adults and adults across different backgrounds and socio-economic classes in the city for decades. She is also a director at Jyoti Limited and a full-time director at JSL Industries, both leading engineering companies in India, manufacturing high-technology engineering products. She holds a deep interest in art and culture, and she also brought the widely popular Vadodara Marathon to international limelight. Ms. Sandhya Vodbekar Gajjar is an art curator, an art historian, and a heritage activist. She has written extensively about artists of Baroda and their works. She is also one of the key members of the Heritage Trust Baroda and has been instrumental in conservation attempts of several historic buildings in the city. Our chief guest, Dr. Sushma Baxi, is a renowned gynecologist, obstetrician, and the clinical head and fertility specialist at Oasis Fertility, Akota, Vadodara. She has over 35 years of medical experience and she has served in various institutes of national prominence across the country. She has also been a WHO fellow at the Harvard Medical School, Boston, in gynecology and infertility. She is also closely associated with Navrachana and is a part of MSc in Clinical Embryology program and is also on the board for the Biomedical Science program. She is deeply interested in academics. A round of applause, please. May I now request Srimati Teja Lavin to mark the beginning of today's event with her opening remarks.
Thank you, Ishita. A very good morning and greetings, belated Women's Day greetings to each one of you here. One addition that I need to make about Sandhya ma'am. She's a trustee of Navrachana Education Society and is on the managing committee of the trust and on the board of management of Navrachana University. We have been celebrating Women's Day for many years now, even at Navrachana. And every year there is something novel, something new that comes. And I must congratulate the Women's Cell, Dr. Vandana Taligaonkar, and all of you for bringing about a new perspective every time. Women are important, we all know that. Michelle Obama had said that if almost 50% of a nation's population remains less privileged or underdeveloped or is not engaged meaningfully in the economic and social life of the nation, how can the nation progress? And we all see that around us. We are all very privileged. All of us who are sitting here come from homes that have valued us, that have given us opportunity to be where we are, to grow. Many of you who are already married have the freedom, I will call it that, because unfortunately that is what our society still, women are free if men choose to allow us to be free. So that is the mental shift that needs to come. And I'm very happy that today's topic, Dr. Baxi will be speaking on career clock and biological clock. Because very often, because of generations of conditioning, and I think it is on our DNA, that we give ourselves the last priority. Health and education are two very, very critical factors for women empowerment, for women to be healthy and lead meaningful and happy lives. We don't pay enough attention to our health on a daily basis. I have seen so many of us who are very attentive when our children or our spouses or somebody in our family, our parents, elderly relations who live with us are ill, and we attend to their medical needs immediately. But when it comes to our own medical needs, we kind of push it off very often till it becomes absolutely imperative to see a doctor. That is one aspect that we need to understand, that we need to give ourselves priority when it comes to our health and many other things. And second is to be able to see what is it that we want in our life, what are the kind of milestones that we need to set in order to achieve our aspirations and our desires and our dreams. So I'm very happy that Dr. Baxi is going to address this very important topic. And I'm also, Dr. Baxi, like I said, very happy that at Navrachana University, we don't have gender issues. You said that we want to make this, provide equal opportunities for women. I think we already are. To have a university, a private university, which has more than half of its student strength as girls and women, is itself a great achievement. Because this is a private university, it's a free university. And as somebody who leads the society, it gives me immense satisfaction to know that women and girls come to this university paying the fees that we charge because they find they are safe here, they have equal opportunity here, and there is respect for them. Right or wrong, girls? Yes? So we need to see that this kind of women's status and their acceptance as equal partners grows beyond Navrachana. We also have seen that we carry gender biases, and I'm happy to note that the Women's Cell has brought out a manual on creating awareness for gender equity. So it is in the process, and hopefully in the next month or so, we will be releasing that. All of you who are here today, let us feel grateful for where we are. Let us thank everyone who has been part of our journeys at home, in our workplace, in the university, around us. And let us today decide that we will help women who are around us, who are not as privileged as us, to also find their place in society and to realize their dreams. It could be your domestic help, it could be somebody you know, it could be a relative. But let us look at the women around us and let us help them to grow and to be happy. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Srimati Tejal Amin to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Dr. Sushma Kaushik. Idea of biological clock and the clock among women, a much needed topic to discuss and ponder over. May I call upon Dr. Baxi to address our gathering, please.
So, morning everybody. Nice to see such young faces all around who is going to listen on period clock and biological clock. Very aptly, like this is the time you should know about it. Dear friends, before I start my talk, let me give you a little briefing about how I got attached and involved with Navrachana. It was way back when I was assistant professor at medical college. I used to take talks to adolescent girls at the school, Navrachana, and it was a pleasure. Subsequently, I was involved with reproductive biomedical science courses by Professor Menon, Dr. Darshi, and all my friends who are sitting over here, to whom I meet very frequently. And we used to talk a lot about starting with the MSc embryology course, which was so dear to me, and it was taken up in a right spirit by the Navrachana management. Thanks to Madam Yu for evolving this new course. And at present we are having 10 students, the first batch, with us who is learning MSc in biology with Oasis Fertility. And the second year is going to start, and we already are having 12 plus applications of the students. Our capacity is not to take beyond 10, but still, already 12 applications are there. It is becoming a very popular course. And my involvement with the Navrachana students for their dissertation work and for their research work, etc., in a small way has gone, is very satisfying. I have no hesitation to say that a teacher in me gets the boost by the brighter faces of Navrachana students. I must congratulate. Thank you, Ishita, for the kind words, and Madam Tejan, for your words of wisdom. Let me say, without hesitation, that your presence here means a lot to me. And Sandhya too, we are good friends. Vandana, thanks for inviting me. So with this, we go ahead with the topic on career clock and biological clock. A topic which is very dear to me because I am not only seeing it theoretically more and more applicable to the current population, but practically also I am seeing this problem emerging in especially urban areas more and more, and it needs addressing the younger population for the same. From Oasis, I bring the greetings. A question: age is just a number. Is it really so? That is what we are going to talk. Because I am a fertility specialist. For the biological clock, there are many other aspects, but I am going to focus on the fertility issues and the reproductive problems with the females. A question which will surprise you all is that whether career is a stumbling block for the like majority of the medical students. I know that they don't start working as fully licensed doctors until they are in their early 30s. Then they spend additional 3 to 7 years specializing, because super specialization is a must. By the time they are into the field actually working as isolated super consultants, they are 32 plus, may it be male or female. So is true for some of the, to some extent, MSc and PhD students too. After higher education, then settling in the life gets the priority. So, the basic thing of life of getting married, having child, etc. takes the backseat. We have seen that female literacy has gone up. Higher education, the percentage of female going for higher education is getting more and more. Percentage of female employment is on rise. We are seeing it. In fact, there are quite a few companies who prefer female employees because of their sincerity. Nothing against males, of course. Please don't take it other way. And when they start with all this, the economical stability and independence is given precedence over personal life by more and more females and couples. This is what happens. We see it. But parallel to that, the biological clock which is going on, the peak reproductive age is 21 to 30 years. We all know that the God-given 21 to 30 years, where there is no need for any infertility treatment, there is natural conception. Career development peak is 27 to 37 years, more so in corporates and entrepreneurs. There is huge competition from male counterparts and unmarried females also. Those who are married, they will face both this competition. Pregnancy and maternity leave is not looked at with soft corner by bosses. It stays as a hurdle in promotions and growth, unfortunately. Very few companies where they give 6 months maternity leave, but otherwise it's not. Demand at home front is never receding. Madam already said that husband or the maid members are not tuned to helping and working for household chores. So, working women is like candle burning at both the ends. It finishes early. This is not a new thing. We see these kind of pictures, the lady having baby around while working. And the last picture where the lady who is working is having the baby there and the husband is on computer. So when people ask working women, when are you going to have a baby? they actually mean when are you going to leave. It is heartbreaking. Having a baby is not considered a healthy right of a working woman, rather it is considered a stumbling block. More and more nuclear families are there. Lack of infrastructural facilities at workplace to support a pregnant or lactating mother lead to many dropouts, and it's a national loss because such vibrant and bright girls, ladies are not working and they are not available for the national growth. And this was what was talked by Indra Nooyi when she spoke in one of her interviews that I was able to work because my mother was there at home to look after my children, and I have been able to achieve CEO. But moment I used to come home, she used to say that keep your crown of CEO at the garage and come and go and get the milk because here you are a husband. So there is an overlap of career clock and biological clock existing. I've seen many girls deciding not to marry or couples not to have child in turn because they feel guilty that I'll not be able to give time to my child or to the household. And no baby on board, I love. That's what they think. I give you an example of the case which came just very recently. 37 years couple, well settled in Singapore, shifted to Baroda, came for pregnancy consultation. Her AMH, anti-Mullerian hormone, which is hormonal test we do for ovarian reserve, was 0.1 at 37 years. And she had her uterus had multiple fibroids. She needed surgery for fibroids and then can have baby, but not with her own eggs because her AMH was so low, we may not be able to give her that chance. She tried. She thought that I wish I would have taken care of this problem earlier. So, healthy reproductive years are 20 to 30 years, but if you miss the bus, then what next? So, age is one of the most important factors, and we have biological age and chronological age. Chronological age we can't change, but biological age we can influence by way of healthy lifestyle. People ask that is fertility affected by age? Yes. 15 to 20% of all couples will experience difficulties with conception when they are 35 plus. And when they reach to midlife fertility, they are 35 plus, 40 plus, the pregnancy becomes more and more difficult. There are various reasons why people age biologically. Stress, nutritional deficiency, influence of environment, DNA damage, and genetic factor. Genetic factor is one of the very important one. These days we are seeing so many cases, 28 years, 30 years, madam, and they are having very poor ovarian reserve. And they are shocked, we are shocked, and we have very limited resources to help them out. So, this aging occurs at cellular, physiological, and metabolic level, all three levels. And one of the things which I consider very important is the telomere. Someday I wish that some of the Navrachana students will work on telomere length and the biological age, how to improve upon telomere length. The germ cells are having telomeres, and shortening of the germ cells telomere ends lead to reproductive aging. And that is something which we can work on. That is something which will be an eye-opener. Probably the next Nobel will be to those who will work on telomeres. So our telomere length could be considered a molecular marker of oogenesis and spermatogenesis both. And it also affects oocyte quality. That is very important. This is something which was a National Family Health Survey, and I want you to have a look at it. That in 1992 and 93, the upper blue line, that was the age-specific fertility rate. It came down in 98, 99, further down in 2005 and 2006, and in 2015 and 2016, it has come down to this level. So age-specific fertility rate is decreasing in India, and that is something which really should be an eye-opener to all the young females who will be planning later on their babies. The issues in 40 plus age. Some people say that what's wrong? I'll settle at 40, I'll have nice bungalow, car, financial stability, and then I'll plan the baby. But the problem is, it is harder to get pregnant, harder to stay pregnant because miscarriage rate is high. It is harder to avoid medical complication, and it is harder to be sure that child will be healthy. So, study, career, ambitions, finance, etc. are important, but please remember the biological clock. In last decade, the change observed is that average age of pregnancy has risen all over the world, including in India, 15% rise of pregnancies after 35, which never used to be there. When I was assistant professor, younger one, that time 35 age mother we never used to see. It used to be an emergency. The births at 45 plus have gone up by fivefold from 1990 to 2010. The new normal of elderly pregnant ladies is now defined as age 40 plus. But the desire to have baby always remains. And I have seen so many photographs of Priyanka, but this is the one which is most surreal. She had a baby at such a later age, and she was so happy to have the baby. So the desire is always there. The reasons why there is late pregnancy, various causes which have been found is women are more in workforce. There are available contraceptive and abortion services. So they don't, even if there is pregnancy, they don't continue with it. Career being given the priority. Delay in marriage. There are more of divorces. Delay in reaching for ART services is another very important cause for not having baby in time. And loss of child because the infant mortality and the neonatal mortality is high. So that itself leads to later challenges. And one of the days when 75 years couple was offered assisted reproductive technology, IVF, and having a baby. This is not the right thing to do. It is misuse of the science because it leads to orphans. These parents would die early and we have a series of orphan babies. Very rightly, government has stopped this. The mother's age should not be beyond 50 and the father's age should not be beyond 55. Beyond that, you can't offer ART services to the couple. So, worry is that why age I am talking because the female egg quality is affected by the age. You can see the graph over here that after the age of 30 to 33, the egg quality is deteriorating. There are more of aneuploidies, there are more of normal babies, and it should be kept in mind while counseling the lady. And this is what would be an eye-opener, that if you are under 20 years of the age, your chances of conceiving in one cycle is 25%, and when you go beyond 38 years, it goes down as low as 3%, the natural conception. But the desire is there versus dilemma. Quite a few educated females, they do ask, if I wish to wait for pregnancy, why I cannot? It's my choice. I should have that liberty. Well, friends, it's not all that bad. The medical science has always walked hand in hand with societal demand and need. There is a need for judicious use of scientific innovations. Social freezing of embryos or eggs has opened up new dimensions in career-oriented individuals, what we call as elective fertility preservation. A CEO said when he met IVF specialist that if I can get my years back, I would prefer to be mother first than a CEO. That was, but this is what now can be on a lighter side. That let us stop rushing to find husbands, start rushing to please our eggs. These are the top 10 Indian celebrities who embraced egg freezing. So it's not something very new, it's going on. And elective fertility preservation is a way to go when you are giving balance to your career and your family. We have various ways by which we can go for elective fertility preservation. One is oocyte freezing. If you are not married, you can go for egg freezing. If you are married, husband's sperm is available. You can go for embryo freezing. I'm happy to say that Dr. Abhishek is here, that we vitrify the oocytes and 98% recovery of normal oocyte is there. And for embryo, it is as good as 100%. So we are, even after 10 years, we take out those embryos or eggs. That is the recovery rate, and which is very promising and very scientific and really reassuring. And there is something like ovarian activation which we can do. So indications for elective fertility preservation is delayed conception due to social reasons, recurrent endometrioma and surgery which reduces the ovarian reserve. In cancer patient, something which I am not going to address today, but in cancer patient, young patients who are having cancer, we can go for fertility preservation before they go for chemotherapy or radiotherapy. So that recovery rate with cancer therapy these days is so high that after the therapy, once they are okay, they can have their own biological and genetic child. We can use their eggs and embryos for future purpose. But it is necessary that you must freeze your eggs and embryo at earlier age. If you do it at 40, the purpose is not served. Between 30 and 33, if you do, that is what will help. A 32 years young unmarried girl, a CEO in corporate came to us requesting us for her embryo freezing. She was not married. She had come with her mother and she just came 5 days before. She said, I am free for 1 month in April 24. So, we planned for her oocyte freezing and counseled her that the age at which you freeze your eggs or embryos will remain the same. After 5 years, the age of those embryos and the eggs will remain just the same. So, it gives healthy embryos, healthy child, and the live births. What to do in females who come after 37? Can we rejuvenate the ovaries? Whether it is an illusion or reality. So when their AMH is already low, but she wants her own genetic child. There are some ways by which we can help. I'll just enumerate them. There is something like platelet-rich plasma which we can inject into the ovaries, and it will increase the growth factors in ovary, and we can give more eggs after PRP. Stem cell is one of the research area as of now, and from the Iraq press, the own stem cells are taken and injected into the ovaries. Lots of research is going on, it's found to be promising. And another is nuclear transfer, that is another research area. From donor to recipient, nuclear transfer is to be done. But always remember that you can't stop your biological clock. It keeps ticking, ticking, ticking. So those who believe that IVF है ना, कर लेंगे. अभी focus करते हैं career पे, बाद में IVF तो है ना. But one must know that the IVF conception rate also decreases with more, with higher age. This is another research area. To the younger students, I think you should know that femininity and fertility forever by ovarian activation. So what is proposed is that in younger age, when you have good ovary, part of the ovary you can take out with the laparoscopy. You can make small pieces, strips of it, and freeze it. So when you go for menopausal age, you can take out those strips, implant it in your ovary, and that ovary will work like your normal ovary. So you will not have menopause. Something which is being researched as of now. And of course, not only menopause, you can have infertility. So ever young, ever fertile. And this is what they say is eco-signaling is being done, and that helps in ovarian activation. And this is something which is also being studied, that it is the nuclear age which matters, not the cytoplasm. So, oocyte of an old lady we take, oocyte of a young lady we take, and we transfer the nucleus of younger lady to the oocyte of old lady. So you have new young oocyte. So this is tripartite nuclear transfer. This also is one of the study and research area over and above the stem cells. So this reverse aging technology is a promising approach by using stem cells. We hope and wish that it will work as anti-aging treatment soon. In India, we have embryo freezing and oocyte freezing available legally, but there are certain countries where it is not allowed. Fertility preservation is allowed in 30 countries only, and embryo cryopreservation is allowed in all countries except in Italy and Portugal. So to summarize, good education, satisfying career is woman's right. It is. Reproductive rights and having her own genetic child is a strong desire. Biological clock cannot change. Indian women has faster ovarian aging compared to Western counterparts. What is 37 for Western female is 33 for Indian female. ART is there to help by providing elective fertility preservation, but planning is extremely necessary. So we have an option of this. Follow the biological clock and keep career as a second priority. One option. Take advantage of modern science and go for fertility preservation. Second choice. But please remember, pregnancy in midlife may have higher risk. 40, you can be hypertensive, you can be diabetic, you might be having other issues. So it should be kept in mind. So if you want to have baby at 40, stay fit. Absolutely necessary. So what is the final answer? One has to weigh the risk versus benefit. And I leave the answer to the worthy August audience that what should be done. Thank you very much.
I now open the dais for the audience. Questions and thoughts, please ask.
It was a very insightful talk, thank you for that. And I'm Pranav, a third year biomedical science student. So my question was, at which stage is the embryo cryopreserved?
Embryo cryopreservation ideally should be done at blastocyst stage, day 5 or day 6 at its development.
And if it is a oocyte, and so which stage of oocyte primary, secondary?
Oocytes, once they are collected with ovum makeup, at that time only M2 stage being stored then, cryopreserved. Was this helpful?
Hello. Sandeep here, very enlightening talk. I just find your conclusion, to be honest, slightly contradictory. I mean, on one side you say that career has to get a second precedence, has to be a second option. At the same time, there is a kind of convenience in with the option of fertility preservation. So how do you address this contradiction?
That is what. I did not conclude it. I just say that these are the options. You may give priority to your fertility and household, or you may plan it in such a way that you can do both by way of fertility preservation. So the question was left to the audience that what you prefer, you need to decide. Onus is on you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for a very, very informative and inspiring talk. I think a lot of us are very, very hopeful. There is always a dilemma between, the women's role as a mother versus the career and the options that are available. I think all you young students who are graduating, who are all graduate and undergraduate students, I think these are all personal choices. We need to look into ourselves and understand where we want to be. What is more important? What will give us more meaning and joy in life? And base our lives and our careers, home life, career, work-life balance accordingly. Thank you so much, Doctor. But yes, there is a lot of hope.
There is a lot of hope.
And I'm very happy that the course at Navrachana University is doing well. And congratulations to all the faculty for creating this kind of interest in our students and creating a culture at Navrachana University of being sincere and focused in their work. Thank you.
Thank you. Please convey my regards to Professor Manuel.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation that you have given. I would just like to say that my journey as a mother started along with journey in Navrachana University. So the day I had my interview, I understood that I am pregnant, but I had to confirm with the gynecologist. And after my interview, I told my coordinator that this is the situation, what should I do? She said I would have to talk with Angel madam, and so that she was kind enough to say, the first thing she said, okay, go wapas to IIT. Right? So that was the first thing that she said, and because of her, I could actually come, and there was no maternity leaves and all, but she was kind enough to give me the leave also so that I could look after my children. And now I am at least 15 years I am in this institution. And it is fun working over here, and all the help was given to each one of us, and I think all the mothers over here have the pleasure of enjoying academic as well as the family life as well. Ma'am, just one thing. One other thing is, as Madam said about the nuclear family, I think joint family has to be inculcated in our life, because the way that I'm enjoying, I'm at ease when I'm over here. Even 8 o'clock I have to stay here. I know my children are safe with my in-laws. My in-laws are also very supportive enough, so that is what you all need to do. Career always is there, but the fun, when you reach home and you see your children running up to us and say, "Hey, Mummy, aaj college, school mein aisa hua, waisa hua," it's really fun. All your stress actually goes down. Okay, ma'am, one question that is there. Nowadays, puberty is early, and the menopause is also becoming a little early. So again, is there any quality in the egg quality since the past few years? We are seeing that during our age, it was around 10 to 12 years that puberty, the inception was there. Now it is as good as 8 to 9 years. So now menopause is also taking down early. So how will RBF actually help in that? Because when you said, because a student life will actually not, a student will not actually think about this. And once, because menopause is again coming between 30 to 35, that is. So how do the children actually address this problem?
The average age and menopause for Indian girls has shifted from 13 to 14, which was in past, now to 11 to 12. And quite often at 10 years also we consider it as normal. The early puberty is due to various environmental factors also. The stimulus to the HPO axis by way of media and other things, and nutritional benefits, like girls who are nutritionally better will have their menarche earlier. So that is there. As far as menopause is concerned, the average age at menopause of Indian women is 47 years, which is in Western world around 50 years, 49 to 50 years. So that is fine. That is the entire reproductive lifespan. But it does not affect the oocyte quality. Oocytes from the age of 20 to 30 are considered to be normal, healthy, and beyond that, as per the biological age of the female, stress factors, other things, some changes will be coming. After 35, the aneuploidy rate goes up.
Thank you, ma'am. We will now screen reels made by our students and faculty.